We'll start off with Coach General thoughts on the game and go to questions.
I thought we started off probably showing a little bit too much respect, but they are obviously a very good team with very good and expensive attacking players. So I think a fair amount of caution was needed in the beginning, but we quickly found that there was more ability to play, more room to play maybe than we thought. And once we grew into the game, I thought we did a decent job of controlling large stretches of the game. Disappointed not to convert one of the set pieces because I thought we did a really good job. Service was really good. The runs were really good. We had opportunities to score there. So disappointed not to give up or not to score off a set piece. But at the end of the day, to get a draw against the best team in the league, reigning MLS Cup champions, there's certainly some things to be taken away from that. But at the end of the day, we're disappointed that we weren't able to convert one of our chances.
Robin, you mentioned about halfway through the first half, there seemed to be a switch that was flipped. What changed in those moments that allowed you guys to feel like you had more control of the game?
Two things, really. One is we just talked about got a message out to ways to get a little bit more pressure to them, because early on they certainly had a ton of time, and I thought the guys responded really well. And as a result, they were able to get a little bit of pressure higher, which allowed us to affect the fluidity of their attack, because certainly for the first 10 minutes or so, they were very, very comfortable. And the idea is certainly we want teams to come here and be uncomfortable. So I thought defensively we were able to apply a little bit more pressure, which led to a few more turnovers, a little bit less defending, a little bit more time with the ball, and then with that, confidence grew.
Mm-hmm. A two-part question about, first, the five in the midfield, or the five in the center of the pitch, those three center backs and then the two in front of them. Watching your center backs tonight, just the amount that they were communicating at all times, how do you rate the performance that those three had and what they were able to do in this game?
Really good. I thought they did a really good job. I think the more we see Maxu, the more we realize how comfortably he is in these situations, and he's an incredibly responsible defender. And he is, unlike myself, I hated defending. He is a very, very conscientious defender. And I think there was confidence growing from him outward, because he wins a lot of his battles, he wins his challenges, he wins stuff in the air. And then I think he made a good point. The communication between the three of them, they were extremely, extremely dialed in. And the attributes of the three players who play the positions for us right now are somewhat different, but it gives us different things in different parts of the field or different phases of play. Obviously, Danny's passing has been an important part of this team for a long time, and Lawless's tenacity has been an important part of this team for a long time. And I think when we look at the three of them and how well they're playing together, it's really about three good players learning to play with each other, having a good understanding of themselves and what is being asked of the team. Mm-hmm. So then therefore they can transmit that information throughout the group.
And a lot of that info going to the two dual sixes in front of them, who are just seem to be everywhere tonight. If things don't go right in this formation, it can be a lot for them to do, but it seems like once you guys made that switch, they were allowed to be more effective. How do you rate their performance? Because it seemed like they covered the entire pitch.
Yeah, again, I thought it was really good. I think when we look at our group, and I don't want to get away from them, I'll get back to them specifically, but I felt like as you watch our team, or as I watch a team, I see our cohesion growing, our understanding growing of the roles and responsibilities within either formation. Obviously, the last couple of weeks it's been in this back five. But the understanding that is now developed or being developed within the team, you can see it in the cohesion, in the way that we play. We didn't concede a lot of chances last week. We didn't concede a lot of chances tonight. It just really speaks volumes to time together and understanding of not only your role, but understanding the role of pretty much everyone in that part of the field, and the way that they're able to communicate with each other to ensure that things get done. It's been really good. Getting back to the two, I think the two were very good as well. Really good in helping us in the build, really good in helping us switch play, and then pretty relentless defending.
You know, Diego got a good 60 minutes under his belt tonight, and he seemed to be getting really strong chances. Keegan just mentioned how he's just a guy who can change things and, you know, really put the back line under pressure. But how would you assess his influence on the attacking third tonight?
Yeah, I thought he was. He probably wasn't really happy when he was coming out, because he was somewhat growing into the game at that point and was just starting to have more and more influence. But I know that he's still coming back from the injury. I know he's not at full fitness yet, and it was an opportunity to get some fresh legs in and to get some runners. And obviously, Mikey and Yappy immediately helped us to some extent. But Keegan's right. Diego is a player who changes things on a dime. He is the one who is probably the most unpredictable in our attack. And he's proven that not only can he score goals, he can set up goals, he can orchestrate our attack, he can get us off one side to the other. Diego's attacking mind is really, really good. And his physical abilities to execute the things that he wants to execute are also really good. So it is great to have him back, because he is a type of player who can change a game on a dime.
Robin, Keegan mentioned before, and you just touched on it yourself, the all-inclusive kind of defensive effort. He said, you know, the defense starts from the top as well. You know, when you see the efforts of, you know, Mikey, of Brian and Costa really battling back to kind of cover maybe a mistake that they made that led to a turnover, what do you just see in terms of the all-encompassing, you know, effort to really get the ball back, to apply the pressure, like you said, on a team that has some really strong attacking players?
Here's my answer to that, and it's following up on what you have said, Keegan said, is that's a team. That's how a team has to function. I feel like the game has changed so much that once upon a time there were the players who just waited to get the ball and then attack, and then ball turned over and they'd sit and wait. But the game is so fast now, and players are so good, that everyone has to participate in the defending. And what you find a little bit tonight, and even more so last week, is that the defending actually leads to better attacking. And when the team is together and cohesive and moving together, they win balls in better areas. They have more energy because it's not so helter-skelter, the defending, which then leads to better attacks. And it's certainly something I've always really liked about this team, is the unselfishness. Because in order to do that, you have to be unselfish. And there are a lot of very good players in the world who still don't want to defend. And so for us, part of the way that we feel like we need to function to compete is that we have to have everyone working to defend and everyone working in the attack. And you know, when we are at our best, it looks very much like a team.
Coach, you guys held, just following up on this theme of the defense, right? You guys held Vela to be a non-factor the whole game, the first half especially. Hardly any touches for him. Was that part of your pre-game strategy to have him be a focal point of their attack? You mentioned their attack is very expensive.
To be honest, we don't know where he's going to play. He could play on a wing. He could play as a 9. We're not really sure. So to say the focal point for us was to how are we going to stop Vela? Well, Bouanga's pretty damn good too, and Opoku doesn't suck. So they have a lot of good attacking players, and the fact that we are limiting very, very good players to not so many opportunities really speaks to the whole team. It's not one player in particular. It's not focusing on just one player in particular, because you can't. They have too many good players. So we have to be able to function and move as a team. And as Keegan said, it starts from the front, and the effort of the front group allows the midfielders to read off them what's available, and allows the back players to read off the midfielders what's available. But if you're all stretched out and not working together, you can't read off anything. So what I've been especially proud of in the last couple of games is how cohesively we have defended. Because when we do, we win balls in better spots, and generally we attack better.
Robin, you know, it's been 10 corner kicks tonight and 22 dating back to the Austin games of 12 last week. I guess just how would you assess that side of the game tonight, and I guess the movement or the takers? It seems like, you know, you guys are obviously really close, but is that something just to keep pounding and keep moving forward with?
You're not a coach, but I'm going to ask you, would you change anything?
No.
Exactly. The service has been fantastic. The movement to get open has been fantastic. These guys are all good headers. We've just not scored yet. But there is absolutely no reason to change anything. Every time we talk about set pieces, I have to talk about Sharpie. And he's the best I've ever seen. The way he dissects opponents, the way he puts our attackers together, and the movements that they make for themselves and for each other. And then we're fortunate to have really, really good service from Brian and Connor right now. You have to just keep going. You have to keep going. If you create the chances that you are, and you haven't scored, you have to feel like the dam's going to burst at some point. We have guys, as I said, who are very good in the air. Sharpie puts them in positions where they're going to get opportunities if the service is good, and the service is fantastic tonight. So we have to keep going. We believe, we know, and every year the pundits say, well, the Rapids can't keep scoring set pieces at this pace. If we have good service and we have guys who can head and we have a genius who puts together the plan, I think we can. So I know we haven't yet, but we keep doing what we're doing, and I feel very strongly that we're going to start to see the results of that.
Just following up on that question, you said after last week that you want your guys to be more clinical in front of goal. Is that still kind of a concern for you at this point?
100%. He can probably say that to any coach in the league, and that would be his number one choice, his number one comment, with the exception of Columbus, who scored 6 goals last week. I think for any of us, scoring goals is the hardest thing to do in the game. And those who are able to do it at an extremely efficient rate get paid a hell of a lot of money. And the fact of the matter is, everyone else is working to be more efficient. Every other team, every other attacking player is working to be more efficient. So I'm really pleased with a lot of our attacking movement. We still want to be able to take more half chances and turn them into real chances, which is kind of what Cole did 2 games ago at home. But we still need more of that. And in the actual open moments, or the relatively open moments, we still do want to be more clinical, no question. It's the life of a forward. If you're not scoring goals, someone's criticizing you. And if you are scoring goals, people are applauding you to death and throwing money at you. So certainly what we want out of our group that works extremely hard, and they give us a lot of work defensively, and they're working hard to get into good spots. We just need to be a little bit more clinical now.
You have one player on the field tonight in your whole squad who has a goal. He also occupies a pretty significant roster category for you, but he's still not really finding any significant minutes. What does Kevin have to do to get a role that would more match up with what people probably expected of him coming into the year?
Kevin's a good player. We have a lot of good players. So he has to beat somebody out. And he's done well, and he scored a great goal last week. If goal scoring was the only thing that mattered, then I think a lot of teams would look different. But the fact of the matter is, there's a lot of responsibility that goes into playing, whatever your position is, and nobody has any one responsibility. You have a lot of responsibilities. So for any of the attackers, it's about how you help defensively, how you do your role defensively, how you move to get open, and then the last part is how you finish your chances. So He just needs to keep working. He's been good. They all need to keep working. There's no one who owns any spot. So every week in training, there are opportunities to win spots. You go into games, you make an opportunity to win spots. I know Kevin scored last week, so the feeling was we need to get him in, we need to get him in. But that level of competition is going to exist the entire time for all of them. And they know, I'm assuming they know, they're told enough that it's not just one piece. Like I said, if it's goal scoring, and you could stand up front and not do anything else, you'd probably be pretty fresh. You'd probably have, get a half chance and score once in a while, but you might give up 3 or 4 goals the other way because you don't do the work. And I'm not saying that about Kevin. What I'm saying is every single person has this responsibility. And they all need to keep working, and every single week is an opportunity to win a spot.
Coach, it was nice to see Diego and Darren back out there tonight. So since competing in the international break, since competing in the national break, how has them gaining that experience beneficial to them moving forward in the season as well as for the team?
Well, it's beneficial to them because there is probably nothing that builds confidence more than being called to represent your country. So they were both in good situations. Chile's been one of the best teams in the world probably for my entire lifetime. So the fact that Diego is in with the Chilean national team is a big confidence booster for him. He's playing with and against some of the best players in the world. I was just thinking not too many players I know get substituted out of a game to have Alexis Sanchez come in. So that's pretty elite company. So I think the confidence that he gains there is absolutely beneficial to us because the more confident the players are, the better they're going to be. So certainly that's big for him. Yappy is a promising young player. He's 18 years old and has this really, really bright future. And to get called into the U20s and have an opportunity to play in a World Cup, Youth World Cup, it doesn't matter. To play in a World Cup is a really, really cool thing. And the sort of thing that I think also brings more confidence. I look at him tonight. He's had some good moments for us and some good games for us. But I thought he looked more confident and more like a regular MLS first-team player when he came in tonight. And after his first couple of touches, the first thing I thought was he's on a confidence high because he's in a really good spot. He's done well here. He's done well with the U20s. Obviously, he's still chomping at the bit to score a goal. And as a forward, as we just talked about, that's what they live for. They know they have other things to do, but that's what they live for. But in spite of not having scored yet for us, I watch him tonight, and I feel like going away and playing with the U20s and participating, playing against some big teams in the world, he came back tonight as a different person. So as long as these guys keep working hard and earning these international opportunities, they're going to be playing better. So that's going to benefit us. And they're going to go to these international opportunities and come back with even more confidence, and that's going to benefit us.
Hey, Coach Fraser, can you comment on William Yarborough's play this season?
Yeah, he's been really, really good. He's been really good. I thought, what did we give up in Seattle the first game? 3 goals? 4. He was fantastic. It's not very often you give up 4 goals and you talk about a goalkeeper being really good. But I think Will has been very good all year. He is such a good pro. He treats every moment in training like it's the most important moment in the most important game. And that has a lot to do with why he has been so good. He's just a really, really focused guy and incredibly professional. And on top of that, he's a damn good goalkeeper. So I think he's been very good so far this year. And we certainly look forward to more and more from him. He's also one who's probably benefiting from competition. Having Marco here, who's also another really, really good goalkeeper. Abe is a really good goalkeeper. So there's a good sense of competition among the goalkeepers. And I think what we're seeing right now is Will really benefiting from not only his own professionalism, the fact he's a good goalkeeper, the fact he's an honest and hardworking guy, but I think the competition also helps as well.
Tonight was Will's 28th shutout with the club, which is one away from tying the all-time record set by Matt Pickens.
Set by who? Pickens?
Yeah. Wrap on that.
Good. Thanks, you guys.
Thanks, Robin.
Coach,